Hi guys, well I finally reached the 500-mile mark on the new 650S Spider Shmeemobile, so I thought it was time to talk a little bit more about the changes I've noticed and the reasons, of course, for going into this car. I talked a little bit about it before I actually picked up the car, but I've had a bit longer now, of course, to gather thoughts and think about it and take the car out for a drive. So obviously you know what we have is the Mantis Green 650S Spider. It's a lovely sunny winter's afternoon right now, so I've been out for a drive and get some thoughts together. The main reason, of course, to upgrade was the new look. The 650S brings in that design styling from the P1, the McLaren-shaped headlights, the carbon fibre front splitter, and the whole new upgraded look, design and feel to the car. So obviously that meant for me moving into a car that was 2.5 years newer than my 12C, so a significantly newer car, everything factory fresh almost, you know. There comes a time with these cars that, especially with the mileage I do, it's nice to be back on the one that's almost new and going to last longer and hold together a bit better. I mean, they are holding brilliantly. The 12C was flawless. I didn't have any problems with that car, which was unbelievable. But the 650S also another opportunity to take off the roof and go into a Spider. I've shown the roof already. The roof system tucks away under that tonneau lid in the back, but that was a pretty big incentive for the change. But, you know, the thing I didn't realise, and what I've come to realise from driving it more, is how much more there is to this than it just being a facelift. I mean, the facelift element is amazing. You get all of the new parts, the new carbon fibre around the rear, the enlarged scoops on the side vents, but it's what the car does to drive and all the cosmetic parts. I mean, just quickly, it's things like, I mean, door buttons instead of swipe. I loved the way the 12C was a swipe, but I can appreciate why it's now a button. But the hinge and mechanisms on the doors, all a little bit more refined. If we come around the front, the bonnet catch, and you've got this new McLaren badge on the front, but all the little things, this just shuts down in a way that the old car didn't quite manage. I know it sounds silly pointing out little things like that, but the whole car, there's no one thing that makes 650S a dramatic improvement over 12C, it's the way everything comes together. But for now, let me jump in and talk about the driving stuff, because that's where it took me by surprise. Inside the 650S is basically the same as my 12C was. I've gone for the same carbon fibre, the same mix of leather and Alcantara on all the surfaces, the dashboard and the seats. Options, Iris 2 navigation, we've got the Meridian Hi-Fi, heated electric seats. Basically, I decided that that's what I like, and I wanted it exactly the same on the 650S. Obviously, with the Spider, one thing we can do, turn the ignition on, and immediately open the rear window. So that means you can hear more of the car, of course. Let's get it started up. With the noise, I didn't realise quite how much the sound had actually changed. It's been refined. There's more, I think they say, emotion to it, and you can really feel that. On the upshifts, you have more of a pop. On overruns, you have more burbles going on. There's so much more dynamic sounds sort of coming out of that exhaust behind you, and with the window open, or with the roof down, you can hear so much more of it. But let's obviously put it in drive, automatically drive, and the handbrake releases. I'm obviously in full automatic everything at the moment. This is how it starts up, exactly the same as the 12C. All of the settings, obviously, with the active dynamics panel and everything like that, function in the same way. Just pulling into some sunshine, which is lovely. Of course, very low sun in the winter though. But one thing you immediately notice is that the ride is firmer, and it took my mind a little bit of a while to get my head around this exactly. But what they've done is the suspension is hardened, stiffer at the rear, so the ride is obviously firmer and the steering ratios are tightened. But on the flip side, the more aggressive bumps and things that you hit on the ground, especially potholes in central London, are actually softer, or you hear less of the noise through the carbon tub. So the 12C was already brilliant in this respect, especially with the incredibly clever suspension technologies it features. But 650S just takes it on another league, and it makes it presumably one of the best riding and feeling cars out there. You can cruise down a pretty rubbishy British back road and bumps aren't that bad. And like I say, it gets rid of some of that noise you got into the cabin from 12C. So if we press the active button and engage some of these more fun sounds and settings, obviously. 7-speed dual clutch, pedals go both ways, up and down, it's brilliant. You can hear the upshift shift, popping away there in a way that the 12C just didn't do. And it's also when you do that the extra performance comes into play, because 25 horsepower, 625 in the 12C to the 650 in the 650S, doesn't seem on the face of it like that much. But when you consider that it also has 78 Newton meters of torque more, that's almost 15% more torque. It really, really kicks you in the back. You combine the extra noise it makes with the extra torque, and the way it just makes you go, whoa, or sometimes when you give it full power, and it all reaches vastly more than the sum of its parts. I look forward to hopefully at some point being able to compare the sound that the speed of 12C and 650S, but straight off the bat, this car is phenomenally quick. The 12C was quick enough. The 650S is another league ahead. I think the 0 to 100 miles an hour is something silly like 5.7 seconds, presumably if you have the right tyres on, but it's just insane how fast it is. And then you have the slightly more refined steering that comes as a result of the stiffer suspension at the rear, which makes it press on, especially down British countryside roads, in a way that is just insane. It's such a direct and pointed car. You have brake steer pulling you around the corners, all the tech features of the 12C of course, but everything is just pulled together to make something that is slightly more in every respect. Like I said at the beginning, when I bought the 12C, I was thinking, when I bought the 650S, I was thinking, here's the more updated car, it's newer, it's the redesigned looks, it's the Spider of course, and those three factors were enough for me to pull the trigger and make the leap, which is obviously quite a step up financially from 12C to 650S. But it was driving it home, and I had a 200-mile drive back down from McLaren Manchester, who looked after me fantastically in this process. So I really started realising, having done 200 miles up in the morning and 200 miles back in the afternoon, how much improved they had made it from one car to the other, without necessarily talking about it so much. It's sort of hard to quantify the number of different parts that are all stepped up, but it's taken what I described as the almost perfect package in the 12C and made it more perfect. 650S is quite frankly, in my opinion, the best car out there, and that's why I've chosen to put my money here. And I'm absolutely mind blown by how they've managed to do this, and how they've managed to take a car that was so unbelievable before and make it even better. And quite frankly, I think if you put your money in a 12C right now, it is a fantastic bargain, looking at the prices they're going for in the market. The 650S, it's worth every penny. It is truly, truly brilliant. The weather's changing on me pretty quickly though. It's getting towards the end of the day, but I've decided to keep the roof up for this video just because of the wind noise and like that you get off the back of it. Although it's not bad at all as these cars go. The buffeting's actually pretty decent in here, but it would be less good for the camera. But I do have that rear window open because even if it was raining, I could be listening to the noise of the engine. I cannot wait to have this car down in the French Riviera and driving through the Alps and opening up on some pretty spectacular roads and really getting to enjoy it properly. But you know, as I said it already, the whole car, the whole package has just been slightly improved, and I think it's a bit of a no-brainer if you're looking for this kind of car to take out and drive and actually use, and take it around a track as fast as you want, comfortably cruise long distance, drive it around town in full automatic mode, or whatever really. This car just ticks every single box in one car. And some of you will say I would say that because I own one, but I would say the reason I bought one is because I genuinely believe that. And I'm just really surprised by how much better the 650S is and how many small refinements have come through into the one car. So yeah, it's pretty impressive, pretty good, and I'm very, very happy with it. There we go then, some thoughts after 500 miles driving the 650S. And I'm sorry for raving about it so much, but truly this car deserves it. It's phenomenal. I think if I have one thing by way of a conclusion, if you're a 12C owner and you have the means, you need to go out and test drive a 650S. You will be blown away that there is that much room for improvement over the top of an already fantastic car. On the flip side, if you haven't yet bought a 12C but you're in the market for a car of that sort of value, have a go. These cars are phenomenal for their price point, and I'm really, really, really happy with that change. It was quite a financial step up, but worth every penny. The 650S, especially in a colour like this is how a supercar is meant to be. Stand out, bright and loud, and I'm so, so happy. If you want to ask any questions or sort of get involved in any of the discussion about the car or what's going on this year, we've set up McLaren Talk, www.mclarentalk.com, open for all sorts of chat about the car, about what it's like owning it. Other photos and the like will be there as well, so you can get on board and join us. Plenty of owners already have talking McLarens. But thank you very much for watching my thoughts. There'll be loads more updates as we go through the year. Just can't wait now to get it down into some open roads around the French Riviera and the like, where I can truly put my foot down. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that little sort of comparison of 12C to 650S. And I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers. Ready and sorted out here, and then we're going to go inside for that one, the Mantis front splitter finished in the carbon fibre. That pack also gets us